Hi everyone, this is Sharon. Today I have my latest design team project for Lydia at Raindrop Lila for you. I will do a flip through of this journal that I made. This journal is in a tall, thin document style, and I added just a little piece of jewelry to the tie on the front. And then for the tie, I used this polka dotted sari silk and tied that up. And then for my cover, I'll kind of find the center here and open it up. I found these prints on canvas, and I bought several of them, and I thought they would make some really nice journal covers. And so that's what I used for this, and I just gave it a little wax finish to kind of protect it. And this one is of a vase of flowers on a table and some fruit. So that's what I used for the base of my cover. And then I just trimmed the edge with some antique lace. And then the inside covers, I put down a layer of straw paper to kind of reinforce it and just cover up the inside of the cover. And then I also covered that with this vintage piece of French fabric. It's a lightweight linen, and that all just helps to strengthen the cover a bit and make it a little bit thicker, even though the canvas is really sturdy. And for the digitals in this particular project, I used Lydia's Little Blessings collection, and a complement collection she has for that is called Baby Blues. And these are some of her newer kits, and they're just wonderful. I love them. They're filled with soft neutrals and muted pinks and blues, and kind of have a mother and child theme to them. So those are the primary ones I used in here. She has, as usual, just a ton of images to choose from, and I couldn't pick just my favorites because I love them all. So I already decided I'm going to make another journal very similar to this with a different canvas cover for my project next month. So you'll see that one with similar images from this collection, just a little bit different ones. Okay, so as we head on through the pages, this is the first page, and I embellished with a wax seal and some fabric and trim. And then on some of my pages, I've used some antique book pages and ledger sheets and things like that. So that's a nice old French piece. Here I created a top tuck with that lace image. And then in there, I created this tag. And then I backed that with a vintage envelope. And then I added this velvet tie at the bottom. And it includes some of the beautiful background pages in this kit. Oh, this is what the page looks like. Here is one of the background pages, and I just embellished a little bit with some glitter. I don't know if you can see that. I just ran a bead of glue down that line there. And this is some antique French music paper. And then in here, I just tucked a couple of vintage ephemera pieces. And then on this side of the page, I created this tab at the top with some machine, some fancy stitching on there, some linen fabrics. On this page, I just took this, it's like book tape of some sort that I took from a book, and then I just turned that into a little ribbon with a button. And then on this page, I've got this lace pocket. And then in there, I've got a couple of bookmarks. This is from an old 1800s newspaper. I just backed that onto some other heavier paper. Here I used another old book page, and then I added this journaling piece, another image from the kit, and then some writing room on the back of that. Just sandwiched that with an old German book page. And then here on this page, I added this sari ruffle and some little bit of lace on there. And then on the bottom, I reprinted this piece that was part of the original page collage and then just glued that down and added a couple of buttons on there as well. Here, there's beautiful background paper, and then I just created the side tuck with a piece of straw paper and I stamped that. And then in there, I've got this page from a French embroidery book. And then I made this little card with an image from Lydia's kit. Cute little boy on there. And then this is one of her, from her French ephemera bundle or kit. Here's a piece of vintage ledger paper. And then here I created this pocket on the bottom. And then in there I have this little piece that I made. These were in her, I think it was the Baby Blues kit. I don't know if this was an old locket or a metal or what these images came from. They're really pretty. But I just cut those out and kind of created a tab here for this trifold and attached those with a brad. If you slide those over, this opens out. This is a piece that I waxed. And then there's this invoice image there. And then on this side, I layered it up with this vintage envelope that I had. So there's writing room inside, and then I just added some texture paste with this stencil on the top. On this side of the page, I created this pocket with this image, and then I also embellished with some fabric on the top. And in there, I've got this tag. Back that with some ledger paper. This is a beautiful image from her kit, and then this is an embroidery, I think it was an embroidery magazine of some sort, or a women's magazine page. Then I just added a little bit of washi on the bottom. That's from Lace Boutique 1. And in there I tucked this vintage recipe book page. And in there I have this antique postcard. On this side of the page, I again used some stencil paste to put this pretty stencil pattern on there. And this is a vintage paper doily. Here for my top tuck, I added this beautiful piece of old lace. And then in there, I absolutely love this image from her kit, the flowers. And then I wrapped that around this music sheet and then tied it up with this pretty little ribbon. Here for the page, I've got a piece of old onion skin paper that came out of a book from the early 1900s. I think it's dated 1900. And I just folded that up and then in to create a tuck. I added this little piece of linen at the bottom that has some decorative stitching on it. And in there, I've got this tag I made. So this is a background page from Lydia's kit. And then I just put this sticker of this floral image on the front. And then I used some sari ribbon for my tab at the top. And then I backed it with some coffee dyed paper. There's just a really faint pattern on there. I just love these muted pinks from that kit. And then on this page, I took a couple of, I think what were supposed to be journaling cards perhaps, and I used them as pockets. I embellished with a little bit of ticking. And then on my strings, I added these old buttons. And then I kind of backed this with some coffee dyed paper. And then I created these two tags with one of the background journal page images, and then also took these two images from her kit. And then just added a little bit of lace at the top and some paper doilies just to layer it up nicely. And then I backed those with a piece of vintage paper. On this page, I reprinted some of the items that were part of the original collage sheet. And then I stitched around this image of the mother and baby. And then this ribbon I just glued on at the top and the bottom, so it kind of creates a little bit of a tuck there. And then over on this page, I've got another tag. Here, another beautiful lace. I used a lot of lace in this journal. That's what the page looks like. I got a paper tab there. And then I've got this journaling card. And this, I just did some stenciling on the back with ink. And then at the bottom, I did a little bit of slow stitching for the edge. And then I also tucked in there an old reader book page. Here are the pages, and then I've got a couple of vintage ephemera pieces. This feels like a piece of silk. I'm not sure what it was on, but it's an advertising piece for Zira cigarettes. And then here is another page from an old, like a sewing or embroidery magazine. On this page, I've got another shallow pocket at the bottom. This is a vintage postcard. And then I took one of Lydia's images and printed it on tracing paper and created this policy envelope. It's nice and crinkly. And then in there, I just tucked a piece of writing paper. Nice old vintage notebook page. Here I just embellished with a little bit of lace. Her pages are so nicely put together. They really don't need a lot. And then on this, in this pocket, I made this little journaling card. And then I just folded it over to create this top tuck in the back. And then I just added this vintage postcard in there. Here again, I've got another side tuck with that straw paper that I stamped. And then I've got a couple of antique ephemera pieces, a canceled check, and a page from a French ledger. Here I added this beautiful piece of lace to the bottom of the page. And then over on this side, I've got a top tuck. And I created this little trifold piece. Wrapped it up nicely with a bunch of string. And then I just added a little label at the bottom there. But I love this kind of an embroidered fabric image that's part of the collage. And then in the inside, I just created these belly bands and tucked in. Now these are not from the Little Blessings collection. They're from one of Lydia's other kits. I think it's like neutral tags or something like that. And I just did some stenciling on the back side. On this page, I clipped this Union Telegram envelope from the 1930s on there, and I just left the original contents in there. And then I also created this journaling card. And on this page, I just did a little bit of embellishment with this piece of velvet. The greens really match nicely with the page, I thought. And then here, again, I've tucked in some pieces of ephemera from the 1940s, a letter, and a page from a date book. And then on this top tuck, I've got this pretty image from, I think this was Baby Blues. And I waxed this one again so you can see the nice print through there, and I just stapled it to this German book page. And that takes us to the back. So I really enjoyed this project, and I thank Lydia so much for allowing me to work with her wonderful digital kits. This journal will be for sale in my Etsy shop once I post this video, so if you're at all interested, you can go check it out there. I thank you all so much for coming along with me today, and until next time, bye-bye.